Hey friends, welcome to the channel. In today's video I want to show you how you can improve your writing skills in a foreign language with and without AI, and why this will also improve your speaking abilities and comprehension. Los geht's! My name is Dustin. I'm an IT project manager from Germany. On this channel we create content that helps us be more productive, to learn new things, especially languages, and to live a happier and more fulfilling life. Today we'll be talking about language learning, or to be more precise, about writing in the language you want to acquire. As you know, I'm a big fan of consuming massive amounts of comprehensible and compelling input in order to assimilate a language over time without burning out. But it can also be useful to sit down and really actively studying a language, and one technique to do so are writing exercises. For that, we will first review why writing can be a good tool for improving in a foreign language. After that, we will take a look at how you can do it, and I will show you challenges that the writing approach has. Last but not least, I will demonstrate 3 different techniques, from freestyle to using an awesome tool called Journaly to ChatGPT, on how also you can use writing on your language learning journey. But before we start, let's have a nice sip of coffee. And as you can see today, I got some iced coffee because summer has finally arrived in Germany, and we got 30 degrees, which is like 30 degrees Celsius, which is I think 86 Fahrenheit. So yeah. Let's dive into today's video. There are 2 ways to produce a language, which are speaking and writing. Either way, it all starts with a thought that we then output. While when we speak, we don't have a lot of time to think about what we want to say. When we are writing, it's different, and we can take the time we need to correct errors and bring some order to our thoughts. And if you can write down what you think, then you can most likely also speak. Of course, depending on the language, since there are many where it's particularly difficult, like for example French, where the written and spoken form differ quite a lot. Or if you even have a different script and a completely different phonetic alphabet to learn, that's why I highly recommend to use comprehensible input as the major part of your learning. More on that can be found here. And also, if necessary, to work with the IPA on your accent, but that's also not the topic of today's video. Our thoughts are the things we really need to know in terms of vocab and sentences. If you never think about something, you most likely also never talk or write about it. Or if you can think in your target language, you can also speak and write it. So if you want to save some time and focus on what matters, this is one huge part of it. You don't need to know all the names of each animal or quantum physics, except if those topics are relevant for your daily life. You will never learn a language to perfection. Not even your mother tongue, because there's always something else to learn, and the number of different fields is endless. Writing also allows you to reflect and improve and to gather feedback easily. This also means that it shows you your deficits and which areas you still need to improve, which can then be addressed using flashcards or other techniques. There are also challenges. Practicing writing can be a strain, because it's not a nice feeling not being able to express yourself and your thoughts fully like you would in your mother tongue or another language you are fluent in. Then in the beginning it's hard, but try to remember why you are doing it. To get better, you have to do stuff repeatedly and ideally on a daily basis, and also stuff that's out of your comfort zone to actually grow. And that leads me to the next point, which is, what is better than a daily journal to get that, right? I write a daily journal, but I also want to express myself properly, to reflect on things. In the past, I switched doing everything already into English, and now when I learn new languages, I switch again. Recently, I've started expressing my thoughts in Dutch. Except that at the beginning, your thoughts are simpler. I would even go so far to say, enjoy it. Sometimes we think way too complicated and build phrases that could be a lot simpler. It's actually an art to express yourself in a short and concise way. Now let's come to the first method, which I've called the lonely wolf method, because you don't need anyone and you can do it completely on your own. So first, set a timer for 5 minutes, for example, and write down your thoughts in your native language. If you're a beginner, if you're already at an upper beginner, intermediate or advanced level, you can also try to write directly in your target language. You can always do it longer than for 5 minutes, but you should start with an attainable goal. Then try to translate your thoughts into your target language if you haven't written them in your target language from the get-go. If you have, look things up by using a translator like DeepL. Do the translation and or correct your mistakes. Then put the phrases into an Anki deck to review them and learn them by heart, to use them in daily conversations and also going forward when you do journaling exercises again. Even if the stuff you have written down is too intimate to talk about, you can still use the sentence structures anyway for other stuff you want to say. A big plus of this technique is that you can do it on your own and nobody sees what you are writing. It's especially good if you are shy. The downside, of course, is that sometimes the translator is giving you stuff or phrases or structures that nobody would really use in daily life or that sound a bit unfamiliar. And another downside is that nobody's actually holding you accountable. The next method is called the Journaly Method. Set a timer for 5 minutes as well and write down your thoughts, ideally directly in your target language, same as in the method before. Don't stress yourself and start again with basic sentences. Try to think simple. Once the time is done, walk through the text and try to correct errors you're already spotting yourself. Also, don't hesitate to use a translator tool to spot even more errors and correct them as well. My favorite translator tool is DeepL. Upload it to Journaly. And this is a platform for writing text in foreign languages, created by a fellow YouTuber called Robin McPherson. If you want me to make a dedicated video about this platform, just let me know. You can also write it directly within Journaly. There's also a cool typewriter function that makes writing more pleasant. And yeah, in a nutshell, it's a platform where you can upload texts or write text in your target language and receive feedback from native speakers. And you can also give feedback in languages you are fluent in. And this is really cool. So it's a community-based thing. And the nice thing is, as already mentioned, that native and fluent speakers help you to correct the stuff, which means those are most likely right. You get to know also new cool people, and the interaction with other people can really motivate you to write more. And the downside is just that others can read what you publish, and probably you don't want to write your most intimate thoughts there. Last but not least, and this shouldn't miss, of course, the ChatGPT method. Give ChatGPT a prompt like, I want to write my diary and I would like you to read it and give me corrections. I use the diary to write in language X to improve my skills in the language. Then do exactly the same as before. Set a timer and write down your thoughts. Once the time is done, press enter and receive the corrections from ChatGPT. Very cool about this is that you will receive immediate feedback and corrections of your text, which are overall fine, I would say. You save time to interact with other people or to do the corrections yourself. A big downside, of course, if you ask me, is that you give the data to OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. And also here you should be aware of that if you share your intimate thoughts. To sum it up, writing can be a really powerful tool to improve your foreign languages. Even though it's not my specialty or not my favorite to do writing exercises, I see the necessity to do so, especially if you are at an advanced stage, and to get those last bits right and to improve the language to the highest level. I think then you can't really get around writing. At the beginning, at the beginner stage, it can also be really useful to build up some phrases and to prepare yourself for conversations. So at all stages of language learning, writing can be a great tool. Please let me know in the comments if you are using writing on a regular basis to improve your language skills. And if yes, how you do it exactly. And if you want to know how to start speaking, I've made this video here. Or if you want to know how else ChatGPT can help you with your language learning, I've also made a video about that, and I will also link it somewhere here. If you found the video useful, please leave me a like and a subscription to the channel, and do not miss anything going forward. Click also on the notification bell. Thank you very much for watching, and see you the next time.